You can usually feel it when there is something wrong at your house and you can't quite identify what it is. How do you know what to do when there is bad feng shui coming at your house? So welcome, my name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own lives and our own charts. But feeling all the feels of this now time, October 2024, as I am filming this, the energy, my friends, solar flares, energetic influences, astrology, and all the craziness of our world, it is a lot. And with all of that, I thought it would be kind of fun to look at our home and bring it all back to the hearth, right? Because sometimes when it feels like the world is out of control, things are really heavy and crazy, just come back to the self. What's going on with you? So as we go through this, I'm going to highlight about five tips on how to manage negative energy coming at your house. Okay, so if this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. After all, the new year videos will start to come out probably in November. I know that there are other Feng Shui and Bazi Astrology channels that are already pushing 2025, and I'm sorry, I cannot for the life of me. Even as I'm getting New Year update requests from my clients who have had astrology readings with me in the past, I'm just not quite ready. And I think part of it is the need for being present right now. Let's just get through today, right? So all of that will be coming. So anyway, welcome again. Let's dive in. When was the last time you took a walk around your yard? What's happening? Let's get outside. It's beautiful weather here. I live in Virginia, so my readings tend to be mid-Atlantic United States, but I think you can adapt this information to any part of the world you live in. So let's start again with feeling something, right? You feel something when you're either in your yard, when you're coming home. What is going on? Just doesn't feel right. You're looking around your yard. Is it that I need to rake the leaves? Is it that something is, like all of a sudden you notice a tree is dying in the yard? What is going on? Maybe it's something at the neighbors. So let's unpack this and highlight these 5 negative energy things that could be coming at the house and what you can do to fix them. Because most problems are solvable, at least in our own lives, right? All right. Where does bad feng shui come from and how do we drive it away? I'm also putting this as a blog on the Kharma Khameleon website, so I'll put a link to that so you can read this as well. First off, where is your driveway? Because if your driveway or a road is coming at your house, okay, then you have what's called a poison arrow. And it's like the energy is coming fast at you, okay? And this could also be if you have the great misfortune of living in a cul-de-sac in which all the energy, you are at the front, or right there at the back of the cul-de-sac, or right there, like you live on a street, but there's another street coming straight in. Horrible, because all that energy is rushing to your house. And you can stand on the front stoop. You can feel it. It is a heavy, heavy energy coming at your house. So here's some things you can do in that situation. You can erect a fence. You can plant shrubbery like boxwood or dwarf fir trees, or a rock wall. but you don't want it to be any more than 3 to 4 feet tall because you don't want to literally imprison yourself. I've seen houses like this. They have those fir trees lined up like soldiers, or pine trees. Boom, 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 boom. Looks like prison. Looks like a prison gate. So you don't obviously want that. You want to be able to see the house, but you want to also create this buffer between the energy coming at the house and you. All right. The other thing you can do is put a convex bagua mirror on your front door in addition to creating that buffer or barrier. Next is there a building or a house next to your home that is angled in such a way that a poison arrow is shooting negative chi or energy at your house? So your house is here and a neighbor's house is at an angle, and this angle is coming right at your house, okay? And it's hitting some part of your bagua. Is it hitting your marriage? Is it hitting your family? Is it hitting your health, your wealth? We don't want anything hitting our home, energetically or otherwise. So in that instance, what I would do is I would plant a tree. Now the tree is going to take time to grow tall enough to really create that buffer. And in the meantime, you can take a bagua mirror, and again, it's convex, so it's reflecting back the energy. Excuse me. So look at that, where that ankle is, see if there is a window or something where you can affix that bagua mirror so that it's facing that angle. And something to be said about bagua mirrors is they should never, ever be in your house. It's always hung outside. And that being said, friends, if you have a question or a comment, please put it in, make your comments below so that I can answer your questions. Happy to do that for you. Another one, number 3, is there a dead tree on or near your property, or a very large tree limb? Now, trees are going to have little bitty limbs that are broken pretty much all the time. It's a living organism. And actually, many people don't know that a dead tree has more life in it than a live tree. And yeah, I live on 8 acres. I'm certainly not going to go and cut down every dead tree. As long as the tree on your property isn't impacting your home, the house itself, it is fine to have dead trees out there because they offer all kinds of housing and food and everything else to birds and bugs. So they are welcome in certain situations. But in this case, like if you live in the city or the suburbs, talk to your neighbor about the dying tree. What are their plans for it? If it's on the city property, contact your city officials about removing the tree for the safety of the public. If it's on your property, you know what to do. You've got to get that dead tree down because it's affecting some part of your bagua. In the meantime, put up that bagua mirror to deflect that energy, right? Alrighty. Number 4, is there a large ditch or gully in front of your house that's collecting stagnant chi of water, leaves, and trash? That's a yucky one. Now, in that case, you've got negative, swampy energy oozing onto your property. So not welcome. And then again, contact your local county or city officials about making sure that it's cleaned out so that the water is flowing. And then you, as a homeowner, take the initiative and periodically, maybe once a month, maybe every other week, whatever, go down and clean out the trash and the leaves so that you're maintaining it so it doesn't become a problem, right? All right, so then we come to number 5. And number 5 is other negative influences, like high voltage power lines. You live anywhere near that? I got a simple remedy: move. Literally, I have walked into a client's home and said, I want you to move. This is not safe. It is not, it is one of the horrors that I think of human development that we develop. I just was getting onto a highway today, and there is a massive new development going on right in the arm. The curve, how the exit ramp goes, this big development. So these people are literally facing an exit ramp to a massive highway, 6-lane highway. And I was thinking to myself, what a horror of home design. Because when you live near a highway, it is such yang energy. It is hard to bring the calm into your home. And so in an instance like that, and I'm going a little off script here, when you live in such a high yang energy place, like New York City comes to mind, your interior home design needs to counter that by capturing more yin in your design. And that's something that I can help you with. If you're interested in a Feng Shui consultation with me, I charge by the square footage. And the cool thing is you get up to 2 Bazi Astrology readings with your consultation. That way I can read the energy of your home with the energy of you. Because sometimes the feeling that's funky is the fact that your house isn't a match for you. And I've even seen where one person is a match, and that person is the one that's gone the most, leaving behind the person that isn't a match in the house to suffer. Seen that happen. All right, holiday decor. Good Lord. Holiday decor is not my favorite. I do not buy into the hallmark of America in the way that we decorate for every season. That being said, Halloween is Halloween. I would never in a million years put a graveyard or skeletons or all this kind of stuff all over my front yard. I just simply wouldn't do it. Okay, I can totally go down for Day of the Dead ceremonies or celebrating Samhain, but when it comes to this decorating with death, I struggle with this. So all that being said, I don't want to be a party pooper for my Halloween fans, but take it down. November 1st. Take down the Halloween decorations. I have started to see people who are keeping these decorations up all year long. A skeleton sitting on somebody in a rocking chair on somebody's front porch. What part of the Bagua is that sitting in? Is that your health? Is that your career that's dying with the representation of a symbol of death? Okay. I've also seen these monster skeletons that are as tall as a house. And I actually know a farm that has one right next to the house, like where the horses and the cows are. And it's such a strange thing to me for somebody to want to have an energy like that around all year. So, enough said about that. Graveyards, hospitals, and churches. The problem there, friends, is this. The energy is so yin, it's dead. It's dead. And unless you're planning on making your house one hell of a yang, which I wouldn't want to do, because that's not conducive to being relaxed. The energy is so heavy and dark, it can be conducive to things like depression, feeling lethargic, I had a woman once who lived across the street from a historic graveyard and church. And I could feel it. One of the things we did was we did put up a bush in the front yard to help deflect some of it. We took down the wind chimes so that we're not drawing all those spirits towards the house, because that's what's going to happen. And you don't know if those spirits are happy ones or not happy ones. Yeah. So a best option there, move. Serious up. The place where we choose to live, friends, should be conducive to you living a vibrant life. So do careful research. Visit a home multiple times, different days, different times of the day, to find out, what's this place like on a Sunday? What's this place like on a Friday night? What's it like on a Saturday morning? Am I going to just be inundated with nothing but leaf blowers every Saturday morning starting at 7 a.m.? Is it a place where everybody sprays with Khameleon and mosquito spray and I am just breathing all this noxious air? What are my neighbors going to be like? So really investigate before you make that decision. All right, sacred land. This is something near and dear to my heart, because I looked up and I live on Monacan. The Monacan tribe is where my land is where they used to be. And so one of the things to recognize, and there are stories about this that I remember hearing from my teacher, I think it was Peter Lung, that was telling us about an apartment building that was being built in New York, outside of New York City. And they kept having all these issues in the building of this property. And it turned out they were on sacred burial ground. So they brought in the indigenous tribes. They did a blessing. They figured things out. But it was a long, convoluted, hot mess. We need to remember that this is not, in many ways, our land. It's stolen land, first of all. And in addition to that, one of the things I'm doing here, on top of my land having been used as a tobacco farm in the early 1900s, is recognizing the history of what your land is, your property. And maybe you live in the city. Maybe you don't even have a yard. Maybe you live in the county and you have a regular yard, not anything big. Maybe you live in the country like me. But wherever you live, look up on the map, especially, obviously if you're in the United States, and find out the history of your land. Invite in indigenous people, a tribe person, to come in and maybe bless the land and communicate with them about the history of the property and how can you honor its history, okay? So in addition to that, what I was thinking would be so beautiful is to honor, to have somewhere in your yard, your garden, a sacred space where you put like a rock that's engraved with a quote or a beautiful word, or words. Maybe you have an angel statue or a Buddha statue or some other kind of statue. And then you do plantings that are specific to honoring the dead. And those are things like forget-me-nots and lilies, roses, marigolds, rosemary, maybe a dogwood tree. And in this way, our home becomes something richer, right? When we bring the sacred, when we bring ancestral energy in, and we honor that. When we take the time to go outside and look, feel, and ensure that the energy coming to your home feels welcoming, gentle, and balanced in that yin and yang. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that in this season of autumn, as you're raking the leaves, pile the leaves around your trees, into your flower beds, under the bushes, because it's like a winter coat for the roots and also nourishment as the rains or snows fall. And that nourishes the plants. It protects the ground in your garden beds from being kind of like depleted of energy, the nourishment from the harsh winter. Don't bag the leaves. Don't blow them into the street or your neighbor's yard. Rake them into piles and use them as compost. It's so much better for everyone. Think of planting a winter garden. I just did one, and this is how I remembered it. It just spells a random word, but rack. Because I'm horrible with labeling things. I go out to my garden, I'm like, I have no idea what's growing out here. But I planted radishes, arugula, chard, and kale. So it spells rack, and that's how I'm remembering it. Anyway, and put up a lovely wreath on your front door. Utilize your main entrance. That's why it's there. The main entrance of your house is not supposed to be a back door or a garage door that is not conducive to the best feng shui, but by using the front door, which is the mouth of your home, then you are bringing in the energy that nourishes your home. It's the mouth. So amazing when we think of it this way. So that when you enter, you're offering nourishment of your lovely energy, like a hug that you're giving to a friend. All right, I'm going to close this with a fun meditation. Are you ready? Okay. I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And at the top of that breath, hold and exhale slow. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you are coming home at the end of a day. Whether you work from home or out in the world, maybe you've been out shopping, maybe you've been at a friend's house, maybe you've been at work, but you're now driving home. How does it feel to be driving home? What's waiting for you there? What's waiting for you there? And as you're driving home, notice the traffic lights and the flow of the roads getting to your house. Do you have to sit at a lot of long traffic lights that irritate you? Do you have to go through a maze of a neighborhood to get to your house? Does the drive in any way agitate you, or is it pretty tranquil? Now you're getting close to your house. You can see it now. How do you drive? How do you park? Is parking a problem? Do you have to parallel park? Do you have to go into a parking garage? Do you pull into a driveway? How do you pull into the driveway? Are you coming in fast? Are you coming in slow? Are you coming in gentle, which obviously is ideal? And as you park, how is your car pointed? Is it giving a poison arrow to your house? You should never drive at your house. You should always kind of come in and around somehow. So now that you've parked your car, again, feel what you're feeling. What's waiting for you inside? Is it chaos? Is it anticipation of you arriving? Is it going to be a celebration, a reunion? Do you have dogs that need to be walked or let out? So now you're coming around to your front door, and maybe you don't usually use your front door, but in this meditation, imagine that you are. And as you're arriving at the front door, look around. Is it free of debris? Like, have leaves gathered around the front door, or even trash? What's happening around the front door? Does it feel inviting? Does it feel like a friend saying, hey, welcome home, glad to see you? What does it feel like to open the door? Is the door stuck? Do you have to wiggle it? Do you have an issue with the key? Or better feng shui, the key goes in easily, the door opens fluidly, everything feels so good, this house smells good. When you walk in, you're not seeing, or what are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? Do you have little furry creatures running and rubbing up against you or jumping on you? Do you have little people or bigger people coming to give you hugs and welcome you home? Maybe you come in and there's nobody waiting for you, and that's okay too. The part of you that's ready to be home and relaxed is waiting for you there, right? Do you have a place to put your keys and your bag? Is there clutter all around the front door that you have to step over things in order to get in, and you're immediately reminded that you need to clean the house? And that's stressful somehow for you? So now, open your eyes and recognize that every last bit of that meditation is also the feng shui of your home. My drive to my house is a 1-hour meditation when I am coming from my boyfriend's house or where I go to do most of my grocery shopping. And I made a point of telling myself that no matter where I'm coming from, my drive home is a meditation of recognizing what I'm seeing, the change of seasons, what's going on in the fields, what animals are out today. Are the sheep out, the goats, the cows? I obviously live in the country. So that when you arrive home, you arrive a measure more calm, and you're not walking in the door full of the story of your day. Okay. Yeah. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was kind of a fun dive into arriving home and then really recognizing what's going on with the exterior of the house to ensure that there isn't any bad feng shui coming at it. Again, so that you can thrive in your life. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. And until next time, friends, be well.